Hi guys, Namaskar. So today let's talk about blissfulness. What is blissfulness? Uh, to me, it is let's put it this way in a very crude way, it is the constant presence of happiness that is blissfulness. When you have an everlasting happiness within you, then you are no longer happy, you are blissful. So, this is like a very rough way of putting it. And and how does it generally come, and how do we attain it is something that the yogis have constantly told us, and it's not about them telling us. They have shown us various methods. They have given us the methods, the ways and means to the sort of try and attain it. And it is a I feel it's a very long process, and it's a continuous process, because I feel attaining of blissfulness it happens in degrees, happens in the evolutionary journey of a human being, and it happens in stages. It doesn't really come suddenly out of the blue. So, uh, so let's take a few examples of how the methods, or what exactly the methods are. So let's say hunger. Okay, so when you're hungry, you are in. So before I get into this method, I want to say what exactly does a method do? So it basically gives you the power to control your desires, your your source of unhappiness. It gives you control over your source of unhappiness. So uh, let's take the example of hunger now. What does hunger do? It makes you feel hungry, and it makes you grab something outside, some food, and eat. Food basically is something which is not completely under your control. You have to go get it, cook, buy, whatever. So it basically, what is happening in that is the control is going outside your body, and going away from you, and to a lot of certain various situations and things. And only if you sort of uh, go do those various things, you are going to get your desire fulfilled, which is you're going to eat, and not feel hungry anymore. And also, so this is like a thing which is basically controlling you, and which you are not under control of. So what do the yogis say? They say, they give you various ways and means of fasting, and pranayam, and all those things, and ways of how to control the desire of hunger, so that the control comes back to you and not goes outside to outside forces, and you gain the control of hunger, and ultimately the the happiness within. When you are in control, of course you are control of your hunger, you are of course more happy, because you know how to control it. That's a I know it's technically, I don't know how to do it technically. I think it's impossible, but yeah, that is how the methods imply. And second example I can give you is, say, your need to be physically intimate to another human being. So lust, emotional closeness, physical closeness, your desire to be close to another human body. So what do the yogis say there? They promote a method of celibacy and all those things, brahmacharya, and in that what happens is you gain control of all those desires of your body, and you don't need an outside source to you know quench your thirst and to fulfill your desire or in terms of those things. So basically, when those methods you try and apply, what happens is you gain more control, and the outside forces that control you sort of, uh, give up, and you are more in charge, and as a default system you become more and more blissful because you know that you are in charge, and you are not in need of anything that that is out there. So that's an ultimate control that comes within you, that makes you blissful and happy. So this is what it is basically, and I can also give you an example of how it happens in degrees, and let's get into that. So let's say, let me give you an example in terms of economic condition, or our profession. Let's say I am a salaried man. Okay, so the source of my happiness is completely dependent on the time I give to my uh, company or owner, and in return he gives me some money. So the source is completely dependent on source of my happiness is completely dependent on an outside force. So this is like the most basic level of the lowest degree of evolution in terms of freedom and being in a state of blissfulness. Second is, let's say, an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur tries to create value by solving a social problem, or any problem as such, and his value is created like the his and by creating value, when once he creates value, he feels happy for that. And how does he create value? He creates value by solving the problem, and also by people believing that he has actually solved the problem. So it's a 50-50 game for the entrepreneur. He is actually relying on his own intelligence, and also on the acknowledgement of people who think that he has solved a certain problem. So it's a 50-50 case for the entrepreneur, which is better than the salaried man, but not really completely under control. And he is not really completely under control, and so yeah, certain part of his life is also dependent on outside force. So let's say now the third example I can give you is of scientist and artist. So they create artists create art, and scientists discover and create new knowledge, and find new things. So by their intelligence they are in control of their happiness. Okay, and once they find out something, they feel very happy, they feel ecstatic. Once an artist creates an art of his or her satisfaction, she or he is very happy. And of course, when it gains social recognition, it's like a bonus, and it's even better. Okay, but the initial source of happiness for an artist or a scientist is entirely his or her doing. So that puts him on a higher pedestal than the entrepreneur, and certainly than the salaried man. And now the highest example of a man is, and but still the scientist or the artist is also dependent on the on the thoughts of his or her mind. If he or she is not getting the feedback from nature, feedback from say the the colors and the pencils and whatever, or feedback from the process of his knowledge creating mind, then the artist or the scientist will be frustrated. So it is like 90% being in control and 10% not for the artist and scientist, because they are still dependent on the mental activities uh, of their mental activities. And the last example, the highest of example, is the yogi himself or herself. And he, a true yogi, will have found his way of being happy constantly without having to do anything. In short, a true yogi will have found his way of being blissful just by being. So I hope I have been able to convey this message. It was a little long, and I know it's a vast topic and really complicated to talk about. In fact, it's so simple that it becomes complicated. The paradox of the universe comes along. So, yeah, if you want to add anything, please comment and like and subscribe. Thank you.